guys, it's me, Megan, your favorite podcaster. Today I'm going to introduce you a book called 100 Things to Know About Food by Osborne. So this book is like 100 facts about food, of course, and inside the facts are actually pretty interesting. I'm not sure I have enough time to share to you 100, but I'm going to share 10 for you. The first one I didn't actually know was true. It says, chewing gum can help you recover from surgery. It says that some types of surgery, your digestive system can just shut down and it's not safe to eat until it recovers. And if you chew something like gum without swallowing, then it can help kickstart it again. So this is how it works. If you're chewing something, then the chewing tricks your brain into thinking that you're actually eating and swallowing. And your brain sends these signals to the digestive system, and these signals get your bowels working too. That was a pretty interesting fact. I didn't know that. This one's pretty interesting too. It says, each pleat in a chef's hat represents a way to cook an egg. So, a chef's hat, known as toques, is traditionally have 100 pleats in them. Each pleat stands for, suppose, 100 ways to cook an egg. It's just maybe a different story, but different toques can have different meanings. Like a very short toque might be like for an apprentice or just a lower chef. But in some kitchens, they represent the standard of the chef, like I was saying. And every single chef has his own hat, and if it's the head chef, then they would get a really tall hat. The picture in here was really funny. Another fact is that pineapple can help criminals escape detection. It says that pineapples contain a lot of corrosive substance called bromelain. If people handle lots of fresh pineapple, they can find their fingerprints just wearing away, disappearing. So that means that if they steal something and the police try to find out who it is, they can't see the fingerprints because they're wearing off. This one was a cool one that I think would really help me or any other scientist in the world. So it says that teeth tell a story of what humans ate long ago, before when they were cavemen or something. If it has a decay, it says suggests a diet of grains like spaghetti or wheats or something like that. Grains are carbohydrates, and it's also a kind of sugar, so they erode the teeth. There's also sheared molars, so when the teeth worn to the sharp point is usually suggests the people use that tooth to tear meat with their teeth, like eating chicken wings or chicken drumsticks or something like that. Cut marks usually suggest that people had put the meat into their mouth and used a tool to kind of cut it apart. A pitted molar is kind of with black seeds in them, sort of. It suggests that the teeth were used to break nuts and hard seeds, so they can bite through, say, acorns. So because their teeth are really strong, and they can bite through the acorns, and then inside it leaves maybe the skin of the seed or something like that. And finally, the plague. The plague is a type of bacterial that can build up on the bottom of your tooth. And scientists study the microscopic particles in the plague to work out exactly what the person actually ate, or else if they didn't, then they wouldn't actually know what they did, because it's not any of the decay, sheared molars, cut marks, or pitted molars, something like that. But they have to find out, or else they won't know if it's any of those. Ooh, I love this one the best. It says, a well-stocked kitchen can double as a first aid kit. You know how you have you put chili in your food and you use olive oil and garlic and that sort of thing? They can actually become first aid kits for if you get hurt or if you get tummy aches or something like that. So it says here, the chilies are for numbing the pain. If you have a pain on your foot or you twisted your ankle or anything, you can rub it on your skin at the point of the pain where it actually hurts. And the chemical at work is called capsaicin. There's also ginger. So if you have a stomach aches or sickness or anything, you can drink it or eat it to settle your stomach or intestine. And the chemical at work is ginger oil. There's also the olive oil. Everyone has known about that. It's for treating your ear aches, and you can place drops into your ear so you can soothe the pain and guard your tissues against the bacteria so that it doesn't really hurt anymore. There's also mint. Wow, I didn't even know that mint could do something. So it says here, mint could actually soothe the sunburn if you go outside and it's really sunny, and then when you come on, I have red rashes all over my skin. Then you can use mint so you can crush the leaves and rub them onto the burn, and it creates a cooling effect so that it will become cooler and not keep staying there. So it can stop the sunburn from heating up or hurting or anything like that. The chemical at work is menthol. There's also garlic. I mentioned that a few seconds ago. It's for fighting illness. You have to eat it so you can fight the microbes in the body, harmful bacteria or fungi, and then you might get very unwell, so you can eat the garlic. And the chemical at work is allicin. Lastly, there's honey for healing wounds, when you get a cut, then you can apply it on, or else so you can kill the bacteria and promote the healing, so that the bacteria won't go into your skin. That was also a really good fact that I really liked. This one here was pretty amazing too. It says antiseptic cheese kept farmers' wounds clean. So it says over 1,000 years ago, blue cheese was made by accident because the cheese was kept under in the cellar, and the underground cellars were the walls were covered in penicillium mold from the cave, the cellar or the floor or anything. Then they just get applied onto the cheese. But then afterwards, French shepherds just found out that if you rub the blue cheese into cuts and scrapes, it actually helps the wounds feel better and kind of heal it a teeny bit. But they didn't actually realize that the mold was an antiseptic, which was stopping the infection from getting inside the actual wound that they had. And then over 100 years ago, there was a Scottish biologist called Alexander Fleming discovered that penicillium contains a substance that kills bacteria. That's actually why if you rub the blue cheese onto your skin, that's onto the wound, then that's exactly why it stops it from hurting, because it kills the bacteria that's trying to get into the wound. Then he called it penicillin, and since the 1940s it has been used as a medicine so that people can heal each other. But then today, the blue cheese is still here, but we don't use the cheese as a medicine anymore. But it was still really cool that the shepherds actually found out that if you rub the blue cheese, it would actually, on the wound, then it would actually work by kind of calming the wound down and killing all the bacteria. That was actually really cool. Ooh, this one's about cupcakes. So it says, bananas can stand in for eggs when you bake a cake. Oh, I didn't know that. So, you know that cakes are usually made from flour, sugar, eggs, and fat, or butter, that sort of thing? But you know they don't have to be, because there are some alternatives. So the flour usually helps to add and form the structure of the cake. But you can also use black beans, ground oats, and ground nuts to stand in for flour if you don't want it to be like so sugary and that sort of thing. Sugar, of course, sweetens the cakes and helps make them soft. But then there are also other sugar alternatives. The alternatives are honey, agave nectar, and fruit puree. Delicious! The fat helps make cakes fluffy and moist, like really humid and that sort of thing. The fat alternatives are tofu, mashed avocado, and plain yogurt. But I would not like tofu in my cupcake. Thank you very much. Eggs, you usually need eggs to bake a cake. So they actually bind the ingredients together to make like a fluffy texture for the cake. But then there's also egg alternatives. One of the cake alternatives is prune puree, mashed potato, and mashed banana. Mashed banana, I love that. Delicious. Imagine if they actually use it. Like it's kind of like a little recipe. That's nice. Right, so you gotta get a bucket for this one. You might bath because it's actually really disgusting. So, it says, whale goo was once used to flavour ice cream. Okay, really disgusting. Nearly vomited. So the earliest known recipes for like the ice cream was like dated back to the 1660s when they found like a rare waxy like substance made from the sperm whales in the ocean. It was found floating in the sea, but then afterwards they found that chemical called ambergris developed a long-lasting sweet odor, which is for the ice cream. But the ambergris is actually just one of the examples for the goo used for cooking. So there's 5 more. Okay, just close your mouth. It's nothing to be worried about. So this one's a cochineal made from crushed cochineal beetles, and it's a type of bug that lives in cacti, like cactus, in South and Central America. And guess what it's made for? Bright red food dye. And this one's about beavers. So this is a castoreum made from a fluid secreted by beavers from a sac in their anuses. They use it for vanilla flavoring for foods, including ice cream. And this is for gelatin, like just jelly. It's made from boiled up animal bones and skin. And it's used to make desserts and like jellies and mousses and black mousses and that sort of thing. Like the spongy sort of, like something like that. And then this one's lanolin. It's made from greasy oil that's actually found in sheep's wool. Guess what? It's used to make some foods shiny, like chewing gum. This one's shellac, made from a thick, sticky substance, which is created by lac bugs. These bugs are like bright red, and they've got like as a usual bug, but they're bright red. And it makes like this sticky substance that you use for Chinese shells for sweets as like a coating for citrus fruits to make them last longer or something. Ew, okay, we've had enough of that. Ooh, this one's my favourite out of all of them. So this one say, motor oil and lipstick help sell steaks and strawberries. It's actually pretty cool. It says, when they make it ads, they make it look very luxurious. Like, they go, apply some, if they make a picture of a steak, they put like, grilled marks applied with like branding iron, and like, with a blowtorch, blasted with a blowtorch, but it's actually raw inside. And it's like painted a bit with motor oil for like the shine and the colour, so that they can sell their product and they like, And there's also, Coca-Cola, and it's always fizzy. It says they put clear plastic or acrylic cubes, like they grab a cube, like a plastic cube, and then they paint the cube white, and then they put them inside the drink. And then there's like bubbles made by a hidden fizzy tablet that's inside of the actual drink. And ice cream is actually made from powdered sugar and food coloring because, if you actually use actual ice cream, then they melt very easily. And then it will just melt before you can even take a video or a picture of it. So they use lard, powdered sugar, and food coloring to make it look like heavenly ice cream. But then it's actually not, it's actually fake. For the strawberries, usually they have strawberries on top of the ice cream. For the strawberries, they use lipstick to apply onto the strawberry so it makes it look like glossy and red and juicy and fresh. And then, if you guys know Starbucks, they've got coffees, but in their ads they might have been usually they use soap foam to make the pictures. In the ads, they actually use diluted soy sauce. I would not want to drink that. And then for the milk, they put white glue, like PVA glue or something, inside the cup. Ew. For this one, if you go to Hungry Jack's or McDonald's or anything, so they arrange these little bowls for the ketchup and mustard and stuff. And then usually there's a packet of chips next to it. But then it's actually fully arranged. That means that they put it in, they have their own arranged spot individually. Put them in, one by one into, a circle or a spiral or whatever. And then it actually looks really cool, but in real life, they actually just stuff the cup with fries and then they just give it to you. It's actually not that pretty. For the burger, this is the best bit. They use toothpicks to connect all the parts together, like the bread, the tomato, the onion, the beef, the salad, the cheese, all of those stuff. They use toothpicks to hold them together. They also spray the lettuce with glycerine for a crispy, glossy look. They use a hairdryer to melt the cheese so that it looks like it's dripping down on the beef, but it's actually fake. They use tweezers to put on the sesame seeds and use glue to stick them on. That would take a lot of time. Ooh, this one's about a single knife is all you need to prepare a Chinese banquet. So globally, many chefs have been uses dozens of specific kitchen knives instead of just one. And they have flexible fish filleting blades and long curvy knives and stuff like that. But then Chinese chefs just rely on one knife and it's just multi-purpose. So the flat side of the blade can be used for crushing garlic or ginger, so you can smack the blade against the garlic so that it will be mashed garlic, and then you can just add it to your dish. It says the spine of the blade can be used to make meat more tender by bashing it. So you use the back of the knife, the spine, to kind of put marks on top of the meat so it makes it more tender and soft and more flexible. The bottom of the handle here, it was a bit inappropriate. I said butt of the handle. But anyway, the bottom of the handle can be used to crush, grind, or grind the spices, grind black beans, sort of something like that. So they can use only one knife to do all of these things. So the point of the blade can be used for precise and delicate cutting so that there's no unequal cutting, and then you can just precisely slice or cut in your exact way and not chop, 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 chop for a million times until it finally comes off and then it's actually not equal. That would be very weird. And the edge of the blade can be used for chopping, slicing, and scraping. Another one is also the flat side of the blade can also be used to scoop or carry ingredients to the pan. Like as I said, after you scrape it, you can balance it on top of the knife and then you can pour it into whatever place you want to. I would give this book a rating of 10 out of 10. I'd say 6 because it's so informative and it shows me things that I've never actually heard of, like chewing gum can actually make your bowels start working again, and that some foods can be like a first aid kit. Those information was actually so cool. 3, because it used flowcharts timeline. So I'm just giving an example. Like after you grab the the wheat, then you harvest it, and then you grind it, and then after it's blah, 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 blah. And I love that because it's very clear, and plus it also used some dialogues when these little blue people tell you the information instead of just boring writing. They use it in dialogue so that it will be easy to understand. And you can tell by the characters' expression, like if they disagree or agree, and it's actually so cool. And 1, because there's illustrations in the book are actually so cute. It's very detailed. So at the front here, I can see a chef eating with a lady inside their picnic box. I can see watermelon, I can see bread, I can see marmalade, I can see lots of these things, and they're like really precise and really detailed, and I really like that too. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Make sure to check out all of my podcasts. Stay tuned, and I hope to see you in my other podcast. Bye!